Now, before anything else, before you start typing in the comments about how much of an idiot I am or whatever, please read the title, Skill Bubble. Meaning this is not a bubble that I'm referring to in the sense of these companies are going to go to zero and not exist anymore. I admit I'm on board. I realize that the whole marijuana thing, it's not going anywhere. So that's not what type of bubble I'm talking about. The bubble I'm referring to is a skill bubble, meaning from these stocks, has it really taken any skill to make money? Or because there's a bubble right now in them, is it one of those where you just kind of buy, hope, wait, oh, right, I made money. Yes, it has been that. And that's the type of bubble I'm referring to. So if you are an investor, this video does not pertain to you at all. Let me say that again. If you are an investor and you're saying, hey, I bought ACB, I bought fill in the blank of one of these Canadian pot stocks for the next 20 years, this video is not for you. I'm doing all this because I did a video a few weeks ago. I'll put the link below. And people, it got to the point where I had to go back and watch it a few times because I was thinking, did I not explain myself right? Because people kept coming back to throwing all this fundamental, well, marijuana is not going anywhere, so how can you call this a bubble? Because that's not what type of bubble I'm talking about. Skill bubble, a skill bubble. And this comment here just kind of summarizes exactly what I thought I was clear on. Now, to be fair, a lot of people nailed exactly the point I was trying to make, but there were quite a few people that really missed the point. And here's just one comment that shows that. Bailed out, it's very, very early in this. What do you know about the government in Canada? What a waste video. I'm sorry, Bitcoin and marijuana stock is absolutely zero comparison. Again, they're a total comparison. Bitcoin during the big bubble part took no skill to make money. You just bought and held and waited, and all of a sudden, hey, I made money. You bought, you held, you waited, all of a sudden you made money. That's the exact same thing that's been going on with these marijuana companies. You buy, you wait, and then all of a sudden it goes up. Now, I will fully admit that from a fundamental perspective, they're not the same type of bubble, because I personally think not cryptocurrency, not blockchain, but Bitcoin is probably headed to zero. But as I already disclosed, I don't think any of these marijuana stocks are headed to zero. But what I do think is going to eventually level off and pop is the skill required to actually make money from them. And I get at this point, you're thinking, well, no, it does take skill. All right, that is why I want to go back and look at a few examples from ACB in particular, but you could apply this to any of the Canadian pot stocks. That's why I have multiple of them in the video title, because it applies, the general premise applies. But I decided, because I was thinking, well, how can I better explain this? Because a lot of people clearly missed the point. Why don't we just go back and look at actual data points? Look at actually how these stocks have traded, again, ACB in particular, that really shows there's been no skill required. When you can act and conduct yourself in the way that I'm about to illustrate to you and show, and illustrate's a bad word because that implies kind of theory. When I show you, like these are actual data points, this is the past history. When you conduct yourself in this way as a trader and then still make money, that's not how the market actually works. That requires no skill. And the market requires a lot more skill. Trading requires a lot more skill than conducting yourself in the way that you could have conducted yourself with these trades that you're about to see and yet had still made some really good money. So let's go to my desktop and you'll see what I mean. Welcome to my desktop. Before I get into the specific examples, which are only going to be a few, I bring that up because just keep in mind as I go through these few specific examples, how much of this kind of action you see where the price is just absolutely all over the place and kind of, put what I'm going to talk about into all these other different situations, and it'll come about just that much more about where skill really wasn't and hasn't been required at all to make money. The only thing that's been required to make money on ACB and a lot of these other, Canadian pot stocks has been bad habits. The bad habits of holding, and hoping. That is what has made money on these stocks. Not skill, bad habits. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So here we have, the breakout, and this is actually when ACB was still a penny stock. But it goes up, the volume surges, so, potentially some people watching it. And then that next day, the price goes up and hits a high of 89 cents. So it hits a high of 89, and that line will just kind of represent, and let's just say people bought up at 89. People chased. Bad habit number one. People chased the price up, bought at 89. Sure, they could have bought at 85, 86, but they bought up around the tail portion here of the upwards move. Then let's see what happens. Well, not only on that same day does it collapse, but it collapses some more, all the way down to a low of 60 cents. That implies you held through a movement of 33% against you. Or in other words, a third of your account, a third of whatever you put into the trade, as far as an unrealized loss was concerned, was gone. A third, 33%. Bad habit number one, chasing. Bad habit number two, literally holding, and letting a position move 33% against you. But because these are just in a, big bubble right now, skill bubble, you can see that, look at that recovery. Remember, the green line represents, and look at that, people would be back in the green, and then look at that beautiful move. And once again, people could be saying, I am great. Look at all this money I have made. Look at that huge move. And you know what? Congratulations on the money that's been made. But let's keep in context what actually led to that making of the money. You chased the price, and then you held through a 33% decline against your position. Yes, I realize the end result was some very nice money, but is this what's normal? Are you allowed to usually chase, let a position go 33% against you, and then come out making potentially hundreds of percents? No, that is not normal. Same chart, ACB. Let's look at another example. So again, you've maybe made that first trade. I'm awesome. I'm a great trader. Oh, look, this thing is starting to come to life again. Volume kicks in. So the next day you go up there, and once again, you buy up at the high of $2.96. So let's put that blue line up there, and that'll make sense as we go further, because there's a little spoiler. It's going to be a while on this one, but $2.96. Now I get it. Well, I've never bought the top. That's not what I'm trying to convey. I'm trying to convey chasing. So whether you bought it $2.60, $2.70, $2.80, $2.90, the point is that is chasing. That is not how you trade. That is not how you get good entry points. So don't look at it as, well, you're just taking extremes. No, I'm just trying to illustrate the wide window. But if you're anywhere within the range of these windows that I'm talking about, for example, the previous one, 33%. Okay, let's say you let a position go 25% against you, 20% against you. That's crazy. To chase and then let a position go 20% against you is crazy. That's any professional trader is going to say, you did what? Yeah, no, that's not how you trade. So don't look at the extremes. Just look at if you're anywhere close to these windows. But for this, like I said, went up and hit a high of $2.96. So let's see how this one played out. But I kind of spoiled it. But yeah, so just keep in mind where that blue line is, and let's just keep on going. So this is the daily chart. So now we're looking at months where you're holding and hoping and waiting, and now that blue line is gone. So let's just keep on going. And literally the weeks and months continue to go by. And like I said, literally, look at all this time. It just continues to go by. And here you go. Things start to wake up again. So let's put that, we'll call it the blue line trade in the back of our mind. And let's get another trade. So another group of people, maybe they're brand new, maybe they've made some other trades or what have you. But again, they see, oh, look, volume's kicking in and the price is waking back up. So they go, and the next day they go and chase, and they get an entry point up here. At $2.65. So they buy, and then of course that same day it collapses. So they chased, and now they're holding, letting the price go against them. But let's see how this continues to play out. So now those people, big old pullback is occurring. And remember, don't forget about the blue line traders. Those people, talk about a tease. It got up kind of close to where they were, but then no good. And it's pulling back on them again. So just the price falls and falls and falls and falls and falls and falls and falls all the way down to a low of $1.40. So at this point, the blue line traders have literally not only chased, not only just held and held and held and held, but now they've let it go literally 53% against them. So they chased, held forever, and have allowed it to go 53% against them. What about those pink line traders? they've allowed the price to go 47% behind them. Now, I guess in this case, the pink line traders are a little bit better because, hey, they haven't held for nearly multiple months like the blue line traders. They've only had to, hold and hope for just a matter of a few weeks, and it's only gone, 47% instead of 53%. But keep in mind, these two traders, I mean, one is them 53%, the other 47%. They both chased. But let's see what happens. Things start to come back to life. Little pull back there. There's that pink line coming back into play. Pink line. Oh, and look at that. Just like that. Boom. Oh, I have so much skill as a trader. Look at all this money I'm making. Oh, my goodness. And up it goes. And now all of a sudden, they have potentially made, over 50%, 60% on the trade. And they're just, I'm such a good trader. Yeah, maybe I didn't get the best entry point, but I'm such a good trader. Keep in mind, trader. I'm not talking about those that are investing, but I am talking about those people that went into it, and in your heart of hearts, if you're being honest, if you went into it and saying, okay, this is a trade, and then all of a sudden somehow you rationalize it into, oh no, I mean, this is an investment. That's not how you do it. If you tell yourself something is a trade when you go into it, it better stay a trade, because a trade that you are wrong about and then you justify not wanting to take the losses, well, actually it's an investment, or I'm going to turn this into an investment. That's amateur stuff right there. And don't take my word for it. Ask anybody that's traded for a long time, professional trader. Is this good if I tell myself something is a trade, but then I see that I'm wrong? So then I just rationalize it and tell myself, well, no, this is now going to be an investment. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Go ask anybody if that's how you're supposed to trade, allowing quote unquote trades turn into quote unquote investments. Now, like I said, if in your heart of hearts, you know going in that you're like, no, this was an investment and it's an investment here on out, then fine. That you are not who I'm talking about. But you also know deep down, if you told yourself something was a trade and then all of a sudden you allowed it to turn into an investment, and here you go, oh, look at this. It worked out great. I'm a trader. And it's amazing how those people would sell there. I thought, wait a second, but I thought it was an investment. Amazing how trades go to investments and then investments all of a sudden turn back into trades. Like I said, for some of you, if you're being honest with yourself, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And to kind of finish the moral of that story, you can see it went up even more before starting to pull back once again. Let's go through another one. Here you're saying, if it can break through these highs, I want to get in. First off, from a trade perspective, okay, I see your logic. You're looking for a breakout trade. That's fine. A breakout trade. Okay, I see the rationale. I mean, I'm not going to argue against that. So right there, the breakout happens and you buy the breakout. So here you didn't even chase. You bought the breakout, but then all of a sudden, not looking like the breakout was actually a true breakout. And that's okay. Nothing is guaranteed. Just because a price breaks a certain level doesn't mean it's for sure going to be a breakout. However, so there's no chasing in this one. There's just, you bought according to a plan of I want to play the breakout, but then it doesn't really break out anymore and it starts to fall. And now all of a sudden it's, actually this is an investment, or else I'm just going to hold and see what happens. So let's see what happens. And yeah, that breakout fails, and it fails some more. And then it just rolls back on over, and down it goes, and you're holding and holding and hoping. Remember, it's just supposed to be a breakout trade, and all of a sudden, somehow some traders are still in this thing. And down it goes more, and down it goes more. And down it goes even more. And down it goes even more. To right there, a low of, let's see, what was that low? 405. And here we are again. You let a wise, a logical trade plan at the beginning, I'm going to buy the breakout, all of a sudden turn into you have now let the position go 49% against you. And sure, this one's quote unquote only been a few weeks where you've had to hold compared to that blue line trade. But still, the orange line traders started off well. I want to play the breakout, but then all of a sudden, is there any skill here? No, a trade plan that fails and then holding and holding and holding and hoping, that's not a skill. That's a very bad habit that's going to eventually get you burned. But as you're about to see in this case, well, I think you're going to figure out what's going to happen, just because these stocks have not been normal. They have been the skill bubble. And these are what skill bubbles look like, where they allow somebody to buy a breakout trade that not only doesn't break out, it absolutely collapses to the tune of 49%. But because they deploy bad habits and hold, look at that. Now all of a sudden, they're making money. And they're making a good amount of money. I mean, they just made, once again, a great percentage on that trade, especially it keeps going up and up and up. And now we have our final trade. So these people go, or these, the momentum is going, it gaps up. That's certainly going to get people excited when it gaps up that morning, runs, and then some people buy up there right around the 1250 mark. So again, we're back to people getting hyped up. That morning you're watching the level twos. Oh, wow, this thing's gapped up. I guarantee you social media, the message boards, everybody's all excited about it. So you get caught up in the hype and, you buy. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with getting caught up in the hype as long as you admit quickly, oh crap, I got caught up in the hype. I better just bail because I totally chased. I got caught up in the hype. So shame on me, but at least I kept the loss minimal because I shouldn't have been hyping it up, or I shouldn't have gotten caught up in the hype and chased. So again, now you don't want to get caught up in the hype, but it's okay to get caught up in the hype as long as you quickly realize and admit to yourself, I just got caught up in the hype. That's not how you get a good entry point because this is a trade. So I need to, just get out. But we're not talking, that'd be a good habit. We're talking about bad habits here. So again, people got caught up in the hype. It pulls back. And what are people thinking? Okay, well, it's come back every single time. So I'll just hold and wait. And here we go all over again. The collapse happens and down it goes. And down it goes some more. And then it gets the low of, let's see, right there, which was, what is that low? $4.58. This represents allowing the position to go against them by 63%. They got caught up in the hype, they chased, and now they've held for multiple weeks and have allowed it to go against them for 63%. So let's just keep on going here, and I'm going to speed this one up. So now that line is gone. There is a move up, and this is present day right here. Those people are still in. As of the recording of this video right now, which is March 25th of 2019. So this will also be kind of a real life case study. What has happened since here? Did the yellow line traders, did they ever get bailed out? Did those bad habit people ever get bailed out? Or are they finally now reaping the consequences? I have no idea. It very well, like I said, these stocks still seem to be in that skill bubble. So maybe it will bail those people out. That magic line for them is, again, up there at $12.50. So we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. But as of right now, those people that got caught up in that hype, got caught up in all that, they have been holding. They have allowed the price to go against them by 63%. Sure, it's no longer 63% against them, but you get the idea here. What are the habits? What kind of, quote unquote strategies are being deployed to make money? So we'll have to see what happens with this going forward. Like I said, the recording of this video was on March 25th of 2019. So maybe when you're watching this, you can go back and see, did these people get bailed out or not? So we'll go back to me in person to wrap up this video. So there you have it. I mean, really holding through those sorts of percentages moves, 33%, 50%, 60% against you. And then all of a sudden you make money still? Those aren't good habits, and that is just not how trading actually works. And as we ended, as of the time of this video, yeah, that one group of traders, they're still sitting there. And to be fair, maybe they get bailed out again. But that's just going to go and further prove that there's still a skill bubble that exists, and that right now people are building they're getting a lot of confidence from faulty mentalities, because when you can, like I said, conduct yourself in this way and yet still make money like you saw, that is just not how things actually work. So be very careful of the skill bubble, and please don't go in the comment section and start talking about fundamentals. I've already disclosed, I've already admitted that from a fundamental perspective, I don't think there's no bubble where marijuana is just going to go away and all of a sudden all these companies are going to zero. That's not the type of bubble I'm talking about. A skill bubble, and like you just saw, that doesn't take any skill to make money. And that's a wrap. If you are out there trading alone currently and maybe are in the market looking for a community to join to assist you in your trading, or to just help you, give you another set of eyeballs, then I do have a private trading community where you can trade alongside me and other experienced traders. So what you see popping up on the screen right now is both an information link. So if you click on the inner circle one, that is going to take you to the page where I explain all the details of what exactly come with the community, both the chat room and the newsletter. And then the other image that has popped up is a behind the scenes tour where you can see exactly what is going to, be contained within the community. I take you through, like I said, a behind the scenes tour of everything, and that way you'll know precisely what you are getting, when you join. So definitely check that stuff out if you are interested and thinking about, wanting to join a community, and let me know if you have any questions.